Welcome to Briefly. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to unlock success effortlessly while others struggle endlessly, even when both groups appear equally hardworking? This book has some answers. I am Vikram, your Briefler, and today we are diving into a powerful work titled Willpower Does Not Work, written by Benjamin Hardy. This book challenges one of the biggest myths of self-improvement, the idea that pure willpower is the key to lasting change. We have been told again and again that discipline and grit are all that matter. If you just push harder, if you just resist longer, you will eventually break through. But the truth is more complicated, and Benjamin Hardy shows us why. Think about it for a moment. How often do we start something new with determination, only to find our motivation fading away after a few days or weeks? We blame ourselves thinking we are weak, that our willpower is not strong enough. But what if the problem is not us at all? What if the environment around us is quietly working against us every single day? Hardy makes a bold claim. He says willpower alone is unreliable for lasting success. It is like trying to swim upstream in a powerful river. No matter how strong you are, eventually you will get exhausted. The current will pull you back. But what if instead of fighting against the river, you could simply step onto a boat that carries you forward? That boat is your environment. This is where the real shift begins. Hardy argues that true change does not come from endlessly battling our impulses. Instead, it comes from shaping the world around us so that good decisions happen naturally and bad temptations lose their power. Imagine arranging your life in such a way that the healthy choice becomes the easiest choice, that productivity flows not from constant self-control but from surroundings designed to support your goals. The idea is both simple and profound. We often think of our inner strength as the hero of the story, but in reality, our environment is the stage on which the story unfolds. A weak stage can make even the strongest actor stumble. A well-designed stage can help an ordinary actor shine. So here lies the central hook of the book. What if success does not come from pushing harder, but from designing your environment smarter? Hardy shows us how this shift in mindset can transform not just our habits but our very identity. When you create an environment that pulls you forward, growth stops feeling like a constant uphill battle. Instead, it becomes the natural outcome of where you live, who you surround yourself with, and how you structure your daily life. This introduction sets the tone for a journey that goes far deeper than simply building more self-discipline. It invites us to rethink the way we approach goals, productivity, relationships, and even our sense of who we are. Over the next chapters, we will uncover practical tools, inspiring stories, and powerful strategies that prove why willpower is not the magic solution we thought it was. So let us begin this journey together. And now let us step into the myth of willpower, where we will begin our journey into the core ideas of this book. As we left off in the introduction, we discovered that willpower alone is not the ultimate key to lasting success. Instead, it is often unreliable and easily drained. Now let us step into the first real layer of this idea. In Chapter 1, The Myth of Willpower, have you ever tried to stick to a new habit only to feel your energy fading within days or weeks? Maybe you decided to wake up earlier or eat healthier and found yourself slipping back into old routines despite your best intentions. This is not because you are lazy or weak, it is because willpower is inherently limited. Think of it like a battery that powers your self-control. Every decision you make draws energy from that battery. Making one tough choice after another gradually depletes it. Eventually, the battery runs low and your resolve falters. The modern world makes this problem even worse. Every single day, we are bombarded with an endless stream of decisions from the moment we wake up until the moment we fall asleep. Which emails should we respond to first? What to eat for breakfast? What message to reply to which friend? On top of that, there are constant distractions from social media notifications to endless entertainment options. All of these small decisions chip away at the limited energy that fuels our willpower, leaving us exhausted and often frustrated with ourselves. Hardy emphasizes that real lasting change does not come from endlessly relying on self-control. If you try to push through life thinking that sheer determination will be enough, you are fighting an uphill battle that gets steeper every day. Instead, the solution lies in shaping your environment. By designing surroundings that naturally encourage the right behaviors and limit the wrong ones, we can conserve our willpower for meaningful choices. Imagine walking into a kitchen where the healthy snacks are right in front of you and the cookies are hidden away in the top cabinet. The choice to eat well no longer requires a battle of will, it becomes the obvious and easy choice. Another way to picture this is like planting a garden. You do not need to force wash the flowers to grow every single morning. You prepare the soil, water them regularly, and ensure they receive sunlight. The right environment allows growth to happen naturally without constant effort. Similarly, when we create spaces and routines that support our goals, our productivity, habits, and even motivation flourish without requiring heroic levels of self-discipline. Hardy also points out that the impact of environment extends beyond just physical spaces. The people we spend time with, the media we consume, and even the digital tools we use play a role in shaping how our willpower is spent and how effectively we pursue our goals. By being intentional about these external factors, we can reduce the daily drain on our energy and set ourselves up for consistent progress rather than constant struggle. Understanding that willpower is limited and that external conditions often dictate our behavior is the first step toward real transformation. It shifts our focus from trying to be stronger every day to designing our lives in a way that supports who we want to become. And now let us move forward into environment shapes identity, where we will explore how shaping the right surroundings can fundamentally transform our habits, choices, and ultimately the person we become. As we explored in the previous chapter the myth of willpower, we understood that relying solely on self-control can leave us exhausted and frustrated. The real power lies not in pushing harder but in shaping the world around us. This brings us to chapter 2, Environment Shapes Identity, where we begin to see how our surroundings quietly define who we become. Have you ever noticed how different your behavior is when you are in a certain place or with certain people? Perhaps you are more focused when working at a quiet desk and more distracted in a noisy cafe. Or maybe you find yourself picking up habits from friends without even realizing it. Our environment influences not just our actions but also our sense of identity. It certainly tells us who we are, what is possible, and what we should expect from ourselves. Benjamin Hardy illustrates this with compelling stories of people who transformed their lives simply by changing where and how they lived. There was a young professional struggling to stay productive in a cluttered apartment with constant distractions. When he moved into a well-organized space surrounded by motivated peers, he discovered that he could accomplish more in 1 week than he had in an entire month before. His environment changed his habits and over time reshaped how he saw himself. He began to identify as someone disciplined and capable instead of scattered and unmotivated. The connection between identity, behavior, and environment is deeper than it seems. We often try to change by sheer force of will, trying to act differently without addressing the context we live in. But our actions are like rivers flowing through a landscape. If the landscape is full of obstacles, the river will be slow and turbulent. Change the landscape and the river flows freely. Our environment is that landscape. By arranging it thoughtfully, we can guide our behaviors and gradually reinforce the identity we wish to embody. Hardy also highlights examples from daily life that make this concept easy to grasp. People who want to read more place books on their nightstands, those who wish to exercise regularly join classes where the culture of commitment surrounds them. Even small tweaks like keeping healthy foods in plain sight or setting your phone on airplane mode during focused work can have ripple effects on how you behave and how you see yourself. The environment becomes a silent partner in shaping your choices and your self-image. Ultimately, Hardy teaches that identity is not something we must summon through endless effort. It is something we grow by cultivating the right conditions around us. When our surroundings reflect the person we want to become, our actions align naturally with our goals. Instead of constantly battling against ourselves, we start living as the person we aspire to be. Understanding this link transforms the way we approach a change. It shifts our focus from relying on willpower to intentionally designing our spaces, routines, and associations so that success becomes the natural outcome of our environment. And now let us move forward into designing for success, where we will explore practical strategies and systems that help you create a life that supports your growth, habits, and ultimate potential. As we discovered in the previous chapter, environment shapes identity. Our surroundings quietly mold our habits and sense of self. the people we spend time with, the spaces we inhabit, and even the small details around us influence who we become. Now, in chapter 3, Designing for Success, we take that insight and learn how to actively shape our environment so that progress becomes natural and almost effortless. Think about your daily life for a moment. How many times have you set a goal only to find yourself tempted by distractions or slipping back into old routines? Hardy teaches us that success does not come from forcing yourself to be disciplined every moment. Instead, it comes from carefully engineering your surroundings to make the right choices easier and the wrong choices harder. Imagine walking into your kitchen and seeing a bowl of fresh fruit on the counter while the cookies are tucked away in a high cabinet. Suddenly, choosing a healthy snack requires almost no struggle at all because the environment is guiding your behavior. Hardy provides practical strategies ways for this kind of intentional design. Remove temptations that pull you off course. Add triggers that nudge you toward the behaviors you want to adopt. These triggers can be as simple as leaving your running shoes by the door or scheduling a reminder to practice a skill at the same time each day. Over time, these small cues compound into automatic habits that no longer depend on willpower alone. The author also emphasizes creating structures, routines, and systems that make progress predictable. When your daily schedule, workspace, and social circles support your goals, you reduce friction and decision fatigue. For example, a writer who sets aside a dedicated quiet hour each morning and keeps all distractions away can produce consistently without relying on a burst of motivation. The systems you put in place act like a riverbed guiding your energy in the right direction so you do not waste time fighting currents. Hardy contrasts this approach with the traditional idea of forcing discipline. Forcing discipline feels heroic at first but is exhausting and unsustainable. It is like trying to push a heavy boulder up a hill every day. Engineering ease, on the other hand, is like building a gentle ramp. The boulder rolls upward naturally with minimal effort. When we design our lives for success, we are not battling ourselves constantly, we are cooperating with the natural flow of our environment. Even small changes can have profound effects. Adjusting your workspace, limiting access to distractions, surrounding yourself with supportive people, and creating visual cues for good habits can turn ordinary days into consistent progress. Each action reinforces your identity as someone who is capable and committed. It is the combination of intentional environment design and strategic routines that allows you to operate at a higher level without depleting your energy. Understanding how to design your life for success is transformative. It shifts the focus from endless struggle to smart planning. It allows you to conserve willpower for meaningful decisions while the rest of your life flows along the path you have prepared. And now let us move forward into embracing growth and discomfort, where we will explore how stepping beyond our comfort zones and deliberately challenging ourselves can accelerate our transformation even further. As we left off in Designing for Success, we saw how arranging our surroundings and routines can make progress almost automatic. Now in chapter 4, Embracing Growth and Discomfort, we take the next step by exploring why real transformation requires stretching beyond what feels safe and familiar. Have you ever noticed that the moments you grew the most were often uncomfortable or even scary at first? Hardy emphasizes that growth does not happen within the cozy boundaries of our comfort zones. It happens when we face challenges that stretch us, when we take on tasks that feel just a little beyond our current abilities. This is where change becomes meaningful, because discomfort is a signal that you are pushing the limits of what you previously thought was possible. But stepping into discomfort does not mean diving blindly into chaos. Hardy shows us how to create environments that both stretch and support us. Think of it like learning to swim in a pool with a trainer nearby rather than jumping into the middle of a turbulent river alone. The environment provides safety and structure while encouraging growth. This could be as simple as arranging your workspace to challenge your focus, or surrounding yourself with peers who inspire you to level up your skills. The right environment amplifies your efforts and prevents overwhelm from derailing your progress. Another key idea Hardy highlights is the importance of commitment devices, accountability, and social influence. Commitment devices are tools or agreements that lock you into your goals. They might be public declarations, scheduled check-ins, or even financial stakes that motivate you to follow through. Accountability partners and mentors provide guidance and perspective, ensuring you stay on course even when the path gets difficult. And social influence reminds us that we are shaped by the people we spend time with. When you surround yourself with high achievers and growth minded individuals, their habits and expectations pull you forward naturally. Hardy illustrates this with examples from everyday life. An aspiring writer might join a writing group where members share work weekly. The group becomes a source of motivation, accountability, and feedback. A professional training for a marathon might find it impossible to skip long runs when teammates expect them to show up. These social structures remove reliance on fragile willpower and instead embed discipline into an external system of support. The essence of this chapter is that discomfort should not be feared but embraced. When combined with the right environment and support structures, stepping beyond your comfort zone becomes a powerful engine for personal growth. Each challenge faced, each uncomfortable moment navigated, builds resilience and reinforces your evolving identity. Over time, what once felt intimidating becomes part of your new normal and your capabilities expand naturally. By understanding how to embrace growth strategically, we learn to lean into discomfort rather than avoid it. We see that progress is not about avoiding pain but using it as a signpost for where meaningful change lies. And now let us move forward into living a high performance life where we will explore how to align our goals, environment, and daily actions so that we operate consistently at our best and sustain the results we have worked so hard to achieve. As we left off in embracing growth and discomfort, we learned that real progress requires stepping beyond what feels safe and familiar while surrounding ourselves with supportive environments. Now in this chapter, Living a High Performance Life, we will explore how to bring all the pieces together to operate consistently at our best and sustain meaningful change. Living a high performance life is not about endless willpower or pushing harder every day. It is about alignment. Alignment between your goals, your environment, and your daily actions. When these elements work together, your energy flows naturally in the direction of your objectives. Imagine a river flowing smoothly toward the ocean. If the channel is clear, the water moves effortlessly. But if rocks and debris block its path, even the strongest current cannot reach its destination. Your goals are like that ocean, and your environment and routines form the channel that guides you there. Benjamin Hardy emphasizes that willpower is often overrated. Instead of relying on fleeting bursts of determination, we replace it with clarity, commitment, and structure. Clarity means knowing exactly what you want and why it matters. Commitment is the decision to follow through no matter what distractions arise. Structure is the system you create to make progress predictable and automatic. Together, these three pillars act as a foundation that allows you to operate at a higher level without constantly exhausting your mental energy. Hardy also highlights the role of vision in sustaining a high-performance life. It is not enough to chase goals alone. You must see yourself as the person you want to become. Visualize the habits you practice, the work ethic you embody, and the identity you wish to hold. When your vision is clear, every choice you make reinforces that image. You start to behave in ways that are consistent with the future self you are becoming rather than reacting to immediate impulses. This creates a feedback loop where your actions gradually solidify your identity and your identity naturally guides your actions. Practical examples bring this idea to life. Consider an entrepreneur who wants to build a successful business. By aligning her work environment with her goals, surrounding herself with mentors, creating structured routines for deep focus, and holding a clear vision of herself as a capable and innovative leader, she is able to sustain productivity even in challenging times. Each decision she makes is less about willpower and more about operating within a system designed for success. The same principle applies to learning new skills, improving health, or building meaningful relationships. Ultimately, living a high-performance life is about orchestrating your internal and external world so that success is not left to chance. It is about designing your life in a way that your daily habits, routines, and environments naturally support the person you want to become. Each small choice, each intentional adjustment compounds over time, leading to remarkable results without relying on constant effort. And now let us move forward into conclusion, the real secret to change, where we will bring together all the insights from this book, summarize the key takeaways, and discover how to create lasting transformation in our own lives. We have journeyed through all the major ideas of this book, and now it is time to bring everything together. In the last chapter, we spoke about living a high-performance life and how alignment between your vision, your environment, and your daily actions creates effortless momentum. That sets the stage for this closing reflection where we uncover the real secret to change. The message Benjamin Hardy leaves us with is both simple and powerful. Success is not about building stronger willpower. It is about building smarter design. Think about it. Willpower alone is like trying to row against a strong current. You may move for a while, but eventually exhaustion will catch up. Now imagine instead that you redirect the flow of the river so that it carries you forward. The difference is not in how hard you push, but in how wisely you shape the path around you. The true key is this: do not fight against your environment, rebuild it to support your future self. If you want to eat healthier, stock your kitchen with nourishing food instead of relying on late night self-control. If you want to be more focused at work, design a space free from distractions and fill it with reminders of your long-term vision. If you want deeper relationships, create rhythms in your life that naturally bring you closer to the people who matter most. These shifts may seem small, but they change the structure that shapes your choices every single day. And here is the most important reflection. Change does not happen in the abstract. It happens in real places with real cues and real actions. Your home, your desk, your digital spaces, even the friends you spend time with all act as silent forces pulling you in one direction or another. When you deliberately redesign those forces, you make it easier to become the person you imagine yourself to be. So as we close this journey, I invite you to do something very practical. Choose just one area of your life. Maybe it is your health, your learning, or your focus. Then ask yourself, how can I redesign the environment around this one area to make progress natural and automatic? Start small, but start today. Because even one intentional change in your environment can set off a chain reaction that reshapes your future. This is the heartbeat of Willpower Does Not Work. It is not about squeezing out more strength or forcing yourself to resist temptation. It is about consciously creating the conditions that make growth and success inevitable. When you live this way, change is no longer a constant struggle. It becomes a natural outcome of the world you have built around you. And with that, we bring this book summary to a close. This was Vikram, your briefler from Briefly, bringing you life-changing lessons in minutes. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep designing your life in a way that makes your best self not just possible, but inevitable.